baby. You are looking live. It's sold out MetLife Stadium. We're today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. Why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there, if there's anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. And instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. Before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link, it takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, the second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, I would greatly appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can use all the support I can get. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. It's free of charge. What have you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then finally, in the description box below, there are 2 Facebook links. The top one takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Basically, I say this in all my videos. My YouTube channel, Facebook group, and Facebook page, it's all called like the same thing, New York Giants, the Gridiron. That way, a moron like me, I can, I can remember. It doesn't screw with my brain, I dumb it down for myself. But in the group, what do we got? 3,800 members, holding strong at 3,800 members. It's, during the off season, it's, it's not, there's not as much activity, shall we say, in the off season. But I try every day, every 7 days a week. I try to get, if I can, up to 10 items a day in the page, which I'm going to go over in a minute, and also in the group too. Whether it's a video, a post, an article, just a picture, something showing some stats of a ball player, something making fun of the Eagles or Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, right? And also, if you become a member, not only do I post stuff in here, but the members post stuff in here as well, too. So usually there's a ton of Giants information every day going into the group. And then the second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. Right? It's a page, but I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one to post anything in there. But it's the same thing. I try to get up to, like, if I can, up to 10 things a day in there. Where are we at? We're at over 1,800 likes, and we're over 6,200 people following the page. It's doing very, very well. And it's basically the same thing. Once I get done going live, I'll spend like up to the next couple hours, like just putting stuff in the page and in the group. As I said, it's the same thing, whether it's a video, an article, something showing some stats of a ball player, a picture, a post. As I said, once again, something making fun of the Eagles or Cowboys. I try to get up to 10 things in there every day. I don't commingle them, right? So basically, what the stuff that I put in the page, I don't put in the group. Whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. I said, unless there's something that really makes fun of the Eagles, and I just want to share that with everybody. But for the most part, I try to keep the stuff separate, right? And I said, but it's like 7 days a week I put stuff, in the page, and 7 days a week I'm putting stuff in the group. So if you go to the page and you like it, you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, you get a ton of New York Giants stuff, information every day. And like I say in all the video, if you go to the page and you like it, you follow it, you go to the group and you become a member. If you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed, huh? You can't beat that. All right, with all that stuff said and done. What's up, Terrence? Giants history is amazing. Well, where are we at here? 1968. We're going to the 1968 season we're up to. This is the final season of Ali Sherman as the head coach for the Giants. Actually, Ali Sherman made it to the 1969 preseason. However, when the Giants got their rear ends handed to them by the defending Super Bowl champion New York Jets in preseason, the Jets won 37-14. I believe that's when I read and you get the feeling of like Wellington Mara, who was the son of Tim Mara, the original owner. He had to like up to, I mean, because the Giants won the championship games in 61, 62, and 63. And after that, you just kind of floundered around, had a couple horrible seasons. It was kind of floundering around with mediocrity and all and everything. And after they got burned big, I mean, it was when I'm reading and all that, it was pretty embarrassing. Not only, we weren't the best team like in the NFL, but we weren't even the best team in New York City, and wasn't even close. So I think Wellington Mara really got embarrassed. So he fired Ali Sherman in preseason of 1969, and he hired Alex Webster, who was the coach. So Alex Webster was coaching for 5 seasons. But 1968, that's where we're at. That's where I'll be there tonight. 1968. Giants 7-7, another mediocre season, but that's where we're at. But I saw this article, 5, and it was got some pretty good questions here. The first one is really, really good. Now, what it says here, says 5 significant questions for the New York Giants at linebacker. This is fan-sided, G-Men HQ, and they come up with some. This is by Doug Rush. Some real good stuff here. Now, when they're talking about linebackers, they're talking, inside linebackers and edge rushers. That's what they're talking. They're talking like a whole kit and caboodle, right? There's no linebacker that is right off guard here. They're talking about everybody, right? So it says, as the days continue to tick away until the start of training camp and the preseason for the Giants, the question marks surround certain position. Yeah, because we're it's about a month, guys. It's about a month away, because if I remember, I forgot, it was the rookies or whatever have to come in the 25th, I think, of July, and like a day or two later, the veterans have to come in. So I mean, we're at 25, soon to be the 26th of June. I mean, we're about a month away, even almost like less than a month away. Whew. And guys, then we're off and running. Holy crap. Are you ready for another season of football, huh? Oh, man. Woo. So some are looking at the secondary and especially cornerback and wonder if they will improve after an up and down season a year ago. And as always, many will look at the offensive line, a group that is drastically needs to improve from the last few seasons. Oh, yeah. One position that is a bit under the radar is the linebacker spot. Well, not that under the radar. I mean, the linebacker play was atrocious last year, especially inside, middle linebacker, inside, whatever you want, off ball, whatever you want to call them. That was atrocious last year, especially when it came to, we've had the longest time, my goodness, covering a coverage linebacker, very, very difficult there. We've had troubles with that, but also the run support. I mean, last year was ungodly horrible. So the linebacker play, it wasn't really, it says here, it was a bit under the radar. Well, no, not too much under the radar, but mostly because the main focus for the defense is their line and how much praise it gets for being a top unit in the league. At one time, the Giants were known in the league for their linebackers. Oh, yeah. Having perhaps the greatest linebacker to ever play. Dude, what are you smoking? Oh, my God. If you had who is this guy? Doug Rush. And he actually puts this in here. Having perhaps the greatest linebacker to ever play in the NFL. Dude, man, you should go bag groceries at Acme or something. If you got to put that in there, you are smoking something, man. Perhaps the greatest linebacker? Dude. Give it up, pal. Give it up. Very sad. Very sad. Last year, the linebacker group was a bit thin, and we saw a bit of a revolving door with the players getting injured and others being added in midseason because the Giants need reinforcements at the position. Let's take a look at some of the issues surrounding the linebacker position for the Giants heading into the 2023 season. Can Azeez stay healthy? Bingo. Excellent point. Yes. My goodness, in his rookie season, Azeez Ojulari bursted onto the scene and showed that he could be a formidable pass rusher for the Giants, and he had 8 sacks during the 2022-2021 season. A very good rookie season, 8 sacks. Unfortunately for Ojulari and the Giants, health got in the way of his progress during his second season. Oh, yeah. And he was only available to play in just 7 games due to multiple injuries through the season. He did, though, record 5.5 sacks in 20. And if he played the full season at the rate he was getting sacked, he would have had, I believe he was on pace for 14.5 sacks. So he was on pace for a heck of a season. And I tell you what, there were some times last year, when he was in the lineup, it just when they snapped the ball, it looked like he had a rocket up his rear end. I mean, he was just flying in there. I mean, he looked so good. So good. It was just a shame he just couldn't stay healthy. Let's see. He had 5.5 sacks last year, which was the second highest among all Giants players. I mean, he only played, he played like, oh my goodness, he only played like 200 and something snaps. And he was the second highest in sacks of all the players. But if the Giants defense to take the next step in 2023, they will need more from him. With a lot of the focus on the other side with Kayvon Thibodeaux, Ojulari has opportunities to take advantage of the attention Thibodeaux draws to his side and get after the quarterback. It's clear that Ojulari has the tools, and the talent to be a successful pass rusher and help the Giants. So let's see. What can Darrian Beavers bring? That's the next question here. When the Giants selected Darrian Beavers in the 6th round of the 2022 NFL Draft, there were a lot of hope and promise when he was on the field in the preseason. He was really looking sharp out there for Wink Martindale. Let's see. Unfortunately for Beavers, and for the Giants, his rookie campaign was cut short in the preseason when he suffered a torn ACL. Before the injury, Beavers was thought of to be a potential starter at the middle linebacker position. Beavers will likely be penciled in behind Jarrad Davis and Bobby Okereke when the start of training camp kicks off late July. With an entire season missed, Beavers will be entering 2023 like another rookie season for him since he didn't play a single down of football in what would have been an actual rookie season. However, he'll already be ahead of the curve given he's had a full year to familiarize himself with the Wink Martindale defense and the playbook. So the question for Beavers is, as he get himself back into the player everyone saw during last year's preseason. If he can, then he'll surely be a player to watch in fall and winter. Basically, it's the same thing, for Beavers, Ojulari, can they stay healthy? Well, I mean, Beavers, not can he stay healthy, can he avoid the injury bug, shall we say? He had the one injury, wiped him out. Now, hopefully, hopefully the answer is yes. Then the next question is, can Jarrad Davis continue to produce? Now, he just came in late. I mean, he's off the practice squad for the Lions. We had a prime off the practice squad. He came in. It's like, here's the playbook. Go. Good luck. Good luck. God bless. And try to make some plays, So, I mean, of course, he's going to struggle a little bit. I mean, he's not, he's not an all-pro. He's not a Hall of Famer, this, that, and the other thing, right? He certainly has some potential, without question. But, just to come in there right off the bat within the last few games of the season, basically, and just start taking over the game, and that's asking quite a bit. But this will be, once again, his second season, familiarizing himself with the Wink Martindale. So he'll be able to react, a little bit better, a little bit faster instead of maybe thinking, and hopefully make himself a better linebacker. Since late in the 2022 season, the Giants made a bit of a surprise move when they signed Davis off the practice squad of the Lions. The signing brought some buzz to the Giants fan base since they remembered Davis as a former first-round pick in 2017. He went a couple picks ahead of former Giants first-rounder Evan Ingram. Davis played in the season finale against the Eagles and had 11 total tackles with half a sack. He was inserted as the starter going forward in the playoffs for the Giants in the 2 games during that run. Davis' strong play was good enough for the Giants to bring him back on a 1-year deal early in the offseason. Davis spent most of the 2022 season on Detroit's practice squad and was only active for 3 games before being scooped up by the Giants. He had bounced around the league a bit the last couple of seasons as he was on the Jets as well as along his second stint with Detroit before he got to the Giants. The Giants have to hope Davis finished to the end of 2022 will continue in 2023, as he was given a 68.1 overall grade by Pro Football Focus and received a 71.9 in pass rush and a 72.1 grade in coverage. Not too bad, especially if we're just coming in playing a few games. Not too bad. A full season of games like the one Davis had in Week 18 against the Eagles would not only play well into his favor as far as staying on the roster, but remaining as one of the 2 starters at inside linebacker for the Giants. Yeah, who's going to be that second? Now obviously, once we get the passing downs, there's a good chance. May not have 2 middle linebackers in there, but it's going to be interesting. We got a Carrick. Who's going to be the other one in there? Obviously, I'm sure we're going to be rotating guys in there as well, but who gets the majority of the play next to a Carrick? That's going to be very interesting because Davis, you can look at possibility for Davis, McFadden, or Beavers. You can make a case for all 3 of them. Can Bobby Okereke live up to his free agency hype? I don't see why not. I really, really don't see why not. But one of the biggest moves made by the Giants in free agency was the addition of Bobby Okereke from the Indianapolis Colts as they signed him to a 4-year, $40 million deal with $21.8 million fully guaranteed. Okereke is coming off 2 tremendous seasons for the Colts as they had 132 tackles in 2021 and a career-high 151 in 2022. That kind of season earned him the contract he got from the Giants. Well-deserved, yes, as he is already expected to not only take over as a starter in the middle, but help transform the defense as well. Because of the contract he received and given he's not a homegrown player, the expectations on Okereke are on him, maybe even more so given how the Giants have been burned by former players brought in from free agency. Yeah. How about Alec Ogletree, huh? But so far, it looks like Okereke has been looking the part for the Giants. It's just the pajamas that they're wearing and the shorts and all of that, for the mini camp and the OTAs. So, but so far he's looked good. And I don't really see why, the intelligence that he has, the experience, the intelligence that he has, I don't see where he's going to fall off at all. Especially, if we got guys in front who can occupy some blockers, like Leonard Williams, Kayvon's going to get some attention, right? Sexy Dexy's going to probably get some blockers himself, which is going to free up Okereke to run around and make some tackles. So. But then the last question they got here, can Kayvon Thibodeaux be him in 2023? It would be nice. How can he not be better with a better front than where he came from? Oh, yeah. I'm saying it goes both ways. Because you look at it like, with a crappy front, which, I'm not saying the Colts are crappy. I don't think I say I break down their plays and their players and all that, but obviously their front's not what the Giants are. But, so when the guys up front are making tackles because they maybe, they're not as good, that frees up some tackles for you. So you got that one. But on the other hand, when they're not as good, right, they only need so many blockers maybe to block them. So that, right? So then that frees up some extra blockers on the line, on the offensive line to get to the second level to maybe try to block Okereke, right? So, now you look at with the Giants, our front is better, But because our front's better, he might wind up getting just as many tackles, if not more, because they're going to need, it's not like, well, what are we going to do? What's the prime enemy number one? I'm thinking the offense on the other team, right? What do we got to do? Got to take care of Dexter Lawrence, right? We're not going to, they're now Carrick, 5, 6, 7 yards beyond the line. We need to keep an eye. We got to take, no. What do you got to do? We're going to take care of maybe Leonard Williams if he's feeling good and hopefully healthy and all. And we got to make sure Dexter Lawrence does not destroy the game. Plain and simple. If we got to put 2 guys on Leonard Williams, we got to put 7 guys on Sexy Dexy. That's what we got to do, right? They're not destroying the game plan for us. So, and then whatever happens, so that's what those guys. So those guys might get less tackles in the front, but that might give them, more tackles to Carrick. So whether or not our front, gets more tackles or not, but they need, they're going to consume the blockers, whether they consume them on their own, or whether, they that's the way they're planning. I mean, because if you got like Sexy Dexy, like in the middle between just off, inside shoulder, maybe the center, be center and guard, they're going to need 2 guys on him. Otherwise he's just going to blow up a lot of plays. So, that's going to definitely help him. Definitely, without question. And the other thing is that when you're like in the third and the fourth quarter this year, and you're rotating fresh bodies in, all right, that's going to help. Last year, when you were in the third and fourth quarter and you couldn't rotate anybody in, and Sexy Dexy's been playing on his 79th snap, he's only so good. It doesn't. He can be Superman, but you give a big human being that many snaps, they start tiring out. Even Aaron Donald will start tiring out after. I mean, they're not Superman, right? So I mean, this year should be even better because and the other nice thing is that you have the guys that we brought in with Nunez Roaches and Ashawn Robinson. Those guys are good in the run game. So I mean, so we can start rotating a lot of guys and keep them fresh. And obviously occupy some blockers and I'll have a Carrick behind them just to be able to hopefully run free and make all kinds of tackles. I definitely think I don't think there's no drop off at all there. I mean that's no drop off whatsoever with a Carrick. I think he's going to have a phenomenal season. But then they got what can Kayvon be him? Thibodeau can be him in 2023. When Giants selected Thibodeau at number 5 overall in the draft, he was brought in to change the entire defense and help give it a complete facelift after years of struggling, especially in the pass rush department. While most might not look at Thibodeau's rookie season as anything special, most know the impact he brought in 2020. If anything, Thibodeau spent most of his rookie season getting a lot of non-calls because he got blatantly held on consistent. Oh, yeah, yes, he did. And they got a video here showing him being held around the neck against the Cowboys on the Thanksgiving Day game. He got held around the neck. You can see also that there's a referee there looking. That, of course, doesn't throw a flag. And then even then, Kayvon still got around the corner and got a hit on Dak. And it says here, every single week he gets held like this, and yet he still got 5 quarterback hits on Dak Prescott. And it shows a picture. It shows as a video. And the ball gets snapped. He's coming around the edge. The tackle has got his arm around Kayvon's neck. Of course, no penalties called, but Kayvon still muscled his way in and got a hit on Dak Prescott. So then it said, obviously, then they're talking about Week 15 against the Commanders in a national televised game. Thibodeau had the coming out party because he shook off the one block and just took off. Hit Heineke, sack, fumble, recovery, touchdown, the quadfecta, right? Says Thibodeau finished the season with 49 total tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 touchdown. Thibodeau also finished 4th in the 2022 NFL Defensive Rookie Player of the Year voting. While that might not seem like an amazing rookie season, those numbers don't tell the entire story. Thibodeau was always bringing the pressure in 2020, and he had 40 total pressures, 25 hurries, and 11 hits to go with his 4 sacks. Thibodeau should not only get better and continue to improve as a pass rusher with experience, now that he is no longer an NFL rookie, maybe he will get the veteran treatment and get some more holding calls, which will force offensive linemen to stop holding him and allow Thibodeau to pick up even more sacks. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it says, yeah. I mean, it says the hope is that Thibodeau will be for the Giants as Parsons is to the Cowboys in the NFL. If the Giants can get Thibodeau to get to that level of a player on defense and as a pass rusher, then the Giants defense will be in good shape moving forward. Yeah, I still would like to see him get like a third good edge rusher. That would really be good. But if we wind up signing Saquon to a long deal and we save some money off of his $10.1 million cap hit, and we bring his cap hit down to like $5 million, maybe $6 million the first year, and we have, $5, $6, $7 million. I'm just throwing some numbers out there left in cap space, and I'd be interested to see if we go out and maybe get a decent edge rusher. I'd like to see that. That would be pretty cool. All right, then they got the Sporting News shows the Giants some love. Gotta like that. Sporting News lists the Giants among the most improved teams in 2023. And of course, I love the Giants. I bleed blue, blah, 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 all that stuff and everything. But, honest to goodness, yeah, I really, really think without question. I mean, I'm not going to lie here and say, yeah, I looked at the other 31 teams. I examined all their players and what they've lost. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not going to lie to you. But, I mean, without question, I really think the Giants did a very good job this season. Have not addressed all the problems. It's just process. It's going to take a couple of years. But, they're moving in the right direction. And I certainly think without question they really did, big time. I mean, two of the biggest problems, one on each side of the ball. The biggest problem they had on the defensive side was the run defense. Well, they really addressed that. Right, I'm not saying we're going to be a top 5 run defense or nothing like that, but they addressed that big time. Got some good quality run defensive depth on the line. Huge. Then they got a tackling machine behind the defensive line. They got a Carrick runner. And hopefully if we get Beavers back, we got Davis back for a second season, right? Micah McFadden apparently is doing really, really well. So we really, really addressed that really well. And then on the offensive side, probably the biggest problem we had, you can say maybe you can say a couple of things, maybe the spotty offensive play. But, we added, we got the center. Hopefully Evan Neal coming back healthy, and it'll be a second season, and he's just working on his craft. I mean, he should be that much better. But, one of the biggest problems, if not the biggest problem we had on the offense was explosive plays. In steps Darren Waller, right? He's not the wide receiver number 1, but, things working out pretty well for Kansas City without a wide receiver number 1. Now, I'm not saying Waller is going to be Kelsey or we're going to be as explosive as the Chiefs or anything like that. But, you can have a very explosive tight end and do rather well. So, and once again, I mean, Shane ain't going to come in here and wave his magic wand in one season. We're going to have a wide receiver 1, a tight end like Waller, fix the whole offensive line. Give Daniel Jones $40 million a year, give Saquon $15 million a year, bring in a wide receiver number 1 for $25 million. It's kind of tough, but we're doing good. It says here, Sport News, the Giants have had a banner offseason in many experts' eyes, maintaining many of their core contributors and adding some key new ones via free agency in the NFL draft. Yeah, and that's a big thing, keeping their core contributors. How many times in the past we draft these guys and they come here and they just let them go. Don't keep them around. It says Vinny Lyer of the Sporting News gave the Giants a grade of A-. I'm not going to argue with that. In his latest rankings of all 32 NFL teams' offseason performance, it was good for 8th best in the league. Pretty good. Key additions: Eric Gray, Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt, Darren Waller, John Michael Schmitz, Bobby Okereke, and Deontay Banks. Oh yeah, I mean, you can go, go a lot of guys. You can Nunez, Roaches, Ashawn Robinson, right? The Giants did their best to remix the backfield and receiving corps to react to a potential contract stalemate with Barkley and add more reliable targets for Daniel Jones, topped by Waller. Schmitz rounds out a rising offensive line, and the defense is well positioned to be improved. Joe Schoen did well to further support Brian Daboll. Oh yeah. And let's not forget also, a lot of, we had some money, but a lot of the money that we had, instead of bringing in 312 different free agents, a lot of the big money we spent was on our own guys. Because, Sexy Dexy's eating up a lot of that. Daniel Jones, and then, of course, Saquon. So, and then we brought in, we brought back, Sterling Shepard, obviously Slayton, just to mention a couple of guys, right? So we spent quite a bit of money on our own guys. So, and we brought, Hottie back, there's other guys, but, we spent a lot of money, not so much necessarily bringing in a ton of big priced free agents, but, a lot of the money we did spend was on our own guys. It says, interesting to see that Eric Gray leads the liars list of, the guy liar. The first guy, he said, the first guy he listed, key additions was Eric Gray. He listed Vinny Liar from the Sporting News. It will likely be up to Gray to fill in for Barkley should he miss time to a whole. That's not happening. That's not happening. Saquon will be there unless for some ungodly reason he gets injured between now and opening day. Saquon will be in the backfield, lined up behind Daniel Jones when the Giants get their first offensive snap of the season against the Cowboys. He'll be there. The Giants added speed and mismatch type players. Yep. An offense and pass the defense with more talent than this offseason. That and the fact that they're entering their second season under Daboll and his staff should be enough to sell the fans and pundits that 2023 could be another exciting year. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're on a roll tonight with your 300,000 tabs up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't gotten to the the NFC, the safeties yet. What do I got? 8 tabs open, 8 or 9. No, actually, no, I got 4. I think I got like 12 tabs open for that. Yeah. And then, so far, so good. I haven't screwed up yet. Then we got Wink Martindale. Brings the heat for the Giants, but should he tone it down a little bit? Like, is he masking, deficiency by sending these players, we can't get there with our front four. So to get pressure, I got to blitz. So who's this here? Big Blue View. Does it say? Is that Rivka Board? Looks like Rivka Board did that. Martindale is one of the league's most blitz happy. He's one of the leagues. He is the league's most blitz happy defensive coordinator. It looks by Rivka Board. Big Blue View. It says, is it worth blitzing for the sake of blitzing? Is it viable strategy in the NFL? Some defensive coordinators are known for a blitz-happy approach. The Giants' Wink Martindale is certainly one of them, as he blitzed more often than any other coordinator last season. Oh, yeah. The question is Martindale's NFL philosophy, or was predicated on the weaknesses of the Giants roster? Do coordinators blitz regardless of their personnel, or more importantly, should Martindale continue to blitz at a very high rate? Or as I'm saying, is he like, well, I want to get pressure. I have to get, that's my, got to get pressure. But basically, we can't get it motion with our front four, so I got to send extra guys. Or is he going to do it regardless, or what? Let's see, 2022 blitz stats. Per NFL Next Gen Stats, the Giants blitzed 44.7% of the time in 2022, the highest rate in the NFL. The next highest blitz rate belonged to the Dolphins at 37.8. The blitz seemingly helped them generate pressure, as Pro Football Reference lists them with the 6th highest total pressure rate in the league at 24.3%. So basically one out of every 4 pass plays, the Giants get a pressure. and tied for the 5th highest quarterback knockdown rate at 11.6%. Still, here were opponents' passing numbers against the Giants' blitz, along with the ranks among all the 32 NFL defenses. Let's see, the Giants gave up 60.2% completion rate. So the Giants were 15th in the league there. The Giants gave up 7.3 yards per pass attempt, which was 14th, 94.5 quarterback rating, which was 18th. So this is all middle of the pack. And they gave up a 4.07 touchdown rate, which was 5th in the league. Considering that their overall ranks in these respective categories were 7th, 13th, 18th, and 8th, it appears the Giants yielded similar raw defensive numbers with and without the blitz. So basically, what this guy is saying is when they blitzed, their numbers were just about the same as when they didn't blitz. Their completion percentage when they blitzed, they were 15th in the league. When they didn't blitz, apparently was 7th when they didn't blitz, when they had more guys in coverage. The yards per attempt, when they blitzed, they were 14th. When they didn't blitz, the yards per attempt was 13th, basically the same. The quarterback rating, they were 18th when they blitzed. When they didn't blitz, they were 18th. And their touchdown rate was 5th when they blitzed. When they didn't blitz, they were 8th. So the numbers are very, very comparable. Very, very, very similar when they blitzed and when they didn't blitz. It appears that the Giants yielded similar raw defensive numbers with and without the blitz. So it says, is it compensation or first line? The question is if the Giants blitz so often to mask their personnel deficiency, or is it Martindale's preferred strategy? He was known as a blitz-heavy defensive coordinator before coming to the Giants. But again, was he merely compensating for hidden weaknesses in the Ravens defense as well? With Baltimore from 2018 to 2021, Martindale blitzed at a rate of 38.5%, was the 3rd most in the NFL. 50.8%, which was the most. 45.2 was the most, and 32 was the 6th most in his 4 seasons. He lives up to his reputation as being a big blitzer. Yeah, so I mean, in 2019, it looked like he blitzed half the time. 2020 looks like he blitzed 45% of the time. I mean, whew. However, here are the cumulative pressure rates and ranks for the edge rushers and interior defensive linemen, Martindale's defenses from 2018 to 2022. I mean, the numbers are, 2018, their edge rushers and their interior defensive linemen had a pressure rate of 9.91%, which is very, very good. But then they're also like in the middle of the pack as well, just from their guys without the blitzers. So in other words, beside Martindale's first season with Baltimore, the Ravens' front 4 did not generate pressure at a high rate. In 2019, they were 19th in the league at generating pressure, their front 4. 2020, their front 4 was 21st in the league. And in 2021, they were 27th, their front 4. And of course, let's not forget that Wink Martindale never, ever had a double-digit sack player for any of his defenses. Imagine if he had somebody with that kind of talent, they'd get a couple, imagine if he had the Eagles. They would have like 37 guys with double-digit sacks last year. Holy cow. Imagine if he had those guys. The Giants followed up the same way in 2022. Perhaps Martindale's reliance on the blitz is at least in part based on the real inability of his front 4 to generate pressure. However, the Ravens' 2018 numbers would tend to, the Ravens' 2018, their front 4 was wound up being very good. So then he has here the 2023 4-man rush out. Like there were 2 reasons for the Giants to hope that their 4-man rush will generate more pressures in 2023. Kayvon Thibodeau's 2nd season and the possibility of a better health from Azeez Ojulari. Although Thibodeau's 9.8% pressure rate ranked 48th out of 67 edge rushers who had at least 290 pass rushes last season, his pass rush win rate of 13.8% from weeks 12 to 18 ranked him 26th. So he's still got a ways to go, though. But the rookie learning curve for edge rushers in the NFL is often steep. Still, Thibodeau was The Athletics' Diante Lee's preferred pick for a breakout sophomore season among the 3 edge rushers drafted in the top 5 last season. Meanwhile, Ojulari was quite efficient as an edge rusher last season, albeit on limited snaps. 140 pass rushes, Ojulari recorded 13.6 pressure rate, which ranked 24th out of 123 edge rushers with at least that number of rushes. He combined that with a 4.3 sack rate that ranked second. In other words, not only did Ojulari generate a lot of pressures, but he also did an excellent job of converting his pressures into sacks. This edge pairing has the potential to be lethal, but things must break the Giants' way. Still, there are good reasons to believe that each one can take big strides in 2023. Pairing them with Dexter Lawrence, who had 12.3 pressure rate, ranked 4th among interior defensive linemen, and Leonard Williams, who was 9.3 pressure rate, which was 18th among interior defensive linemen, could form one of the NFL's best pass rushing quartets. But now the thing is, after that, is that you got those 4. After those 4, who do you got? I mean, you got A'Shawn Robinson, you got Nunez Roches, right? Vernon Butler, DJ Davidson, Ryder Anderson, Jordan Riley. I mean, who are those guys are going to generate a pass rush? Who, besides Kayvon and Azeez, are going to generate some pass rush? Hottie? Tolman Fox, Ellison Smith, Oshane Ximines. Right. So he's got they have here to finish this up. That's the 2023 blitz strategy. If the 4-man rush does take a big step forward, will Martindale continue to blitz? Oh, yeah. The answer here is likely yes. Oh, yeah. If his first year in Baltimore is any indication. More than that, though, Martindale likes to drop edge rushers into coverage. Well, what happened last year? I was reading this article, and the first thing that popped into my mind was last year with Aiden Hutchinson. I think it's Aiden, right? With the Lions. The first quarter. Daniel Jones drops back to pass. Hutchinson drops into coverage. He's not rushing. He drops into coverage. Daniel Jones, hey, there's a receiver, and he throws it. Doesn't see Hutchinson. Throws right to Hutchinson, picks it off, runs it back to like the 15-yard line or whatever it is, something like that. So I mean, that's the same thing. You may be expecting those guys to rush, and they're not, and they're dropping into coverage. Let's say Oshane Ximines, 24.8 coverage rate, ranked 5th among 66 edge rushers with at least 20 coverage snaps. So Thibodeau's 13.7 mark was 29th, and Jihad Ward's 13.47 coverage rate was tied for 30th. Even Tolman Fox, who played 169 pass snaps, dropped into coverage 18.3% of the time, which tied for 17th. So a lot of, just because we got the edge rushers doesn't mean they're going to be coming. But I mean, that's Wink's way. The offensive line, the quarterback, whatever, they're walking up to the line of scrimmage like they see 7 guys. Yeah, who's coming? I don't know. They can think Kayvon's going to come, or Azeez is going to come, or Tolman Fox is going to come, or Hottie's going to come, or Oshane Ximines is going to come. I would say Ellison Smith, but he can hardly ever stay on the field. But, they might want to drop it into coverage. And you might have a safety. You might have a cornerback coming, the slot corner. You might have the wide corner coming. You know what I mean? So they have no idea where it's going to come from. But, I mean, which is what Wink wants to do, confuse the offense. Not only that, but it's even an extra 10th or 3/10 of a second, having the quarterback hold on to the ball, trying to figure out who's coming, who's staying, who's coming, who's going, who's dropping in the car. Just holding on that ball for that extra split second or so, you might be able to get a hit on the quarterback, right? You might be able to, have them hold on to the ball. That extra split second could help the defense immensely. It says with the edge defenders dropping the coverage, that allows other blitzers to come and to try to confuse the quarterback. That can be a strategy in and of itself with the 3-4 defense. Besides the pressure itself, making the quarterback take an extra half second to process can help the blitzers get home. That too. I forgot to bring that up. Holding on to that ball for that extra half a second, whatever. The blitzers might be able to get home. Having the ability to get home with 4 can still give Martindale many more options in personal usage. However, he is unlikely to ever truly lower his blitz rate. If he can continue to generate pressure and disrupt the opponent's passing game that way, it will suit the Giants just fine. But I mean, also, let's not forget, having better coverage, players like Deonte Banks is going to help immensely. So you putting the guys out on the island, and having them being able to hold up, right? I mean, that's huge. That's huge. All right. So here we got my continuing series. This one didn't bode well for the Giants. I got one more after this. I got the special teams. So this is the last positional player here. I got the safeties, and it didn't bode well for the Giants here. First place, I think this might be the first one I got. That's the first one I got the Commanders in first place. Let me see here. I gotta look. This might be the first here. No. It's my bad. Interior defensive line was Washington. Yeah. So this is the second one. I got the Washington. I got the Commanders in first place. I got Cameron Curl and Derek Forrest. Now, Forrest last year he had 4 interceptions. Very impressive. I'll tell you what, between all these safeties, there was not many interceptions in the NFC East. Matter of fact, Forrest, he was definitely tops with 4. So I got them in first place. Second place, I got the Eagles. Now they supposed to have a Terrell Edmonds who was with Pittsburgh last year. So he's coming in. He had a decent year with Pittsburgh last year. And Reed Blankenship, he graded out. I'm not going to say I stand and watch all their film. I'm not going to say that. If I watched the film of the Eagles, I'd be vomiting for the next 5 months. So I'm not doing that. But Pro Football Focus, Reed Blankenship, he didn't play in a lot of games. He missed some time last year. But I'll tell you what, he graded out very well. My goodness. He graded out a 79.4. He had 1 interception, but he's young, 24 years old. Whew. His run defense was an 89.4. Wow. But once again, you got it's the theory of relativity. Everything's relative. When your front 4 and your edge rushers are just phenomenal, and the offense has to spend 915 of their blockers trying to occupy those guys, makes everybody else better. So just because Reed Blankenship, I'm not saying he's a horrible player, but just because he graded out well, sometimes, there might be reasons why he graded. It might be sometimes the guys around you make you better. So, but Reed, he graded out very well. So I got Washington number 1. I got the Eagles at number 2. Then I got, I hate to say it, I got the Cowboys at number 3. I got Jaron Kearse and Donovan Wilson. They're like the older ones, the older guys in the NFC. There, one's 29, one's 28. Each had at least. Well, Kearse had 2 interceptions last year. Wilson only had 1, but they graded out better than because if you look here with the Giants, I know the Giants. We're trying to work on our second safety and all that, but if Pinnock last year, he graded out as 62. Belton graded out, what was it? The heck was it? 61. It looked like he graded out at. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wait. No, hold on. Belton here. He graded out really bad. Now I got to find it here. I got 313,000 tabs over. There we go. Dane Belton. He graded. It doesn't mean, he's horrible, never going to be good, this, that, and everything. But he graded out a 32.8 last year. He had some rough games last year. In the wild card game against Minnesota, he did very well. He graded out a 76, but that was like his highest grade for the year. He had some pretty rough games in there. He did have 2 interceptions. I think they were both in the one was that was week 18 against the Eagles. Took away at least 3 points for the Giants, kept them in the game. And then there was another one, I forgot who it was. He intercepted it right down around the goal line. So both of them, were right down by one was in the end zone, the other one was right by the end zone. So he had a couple very important interceptions, but he graded out at 32. Not very impressive. McCain graded out of 61 last year, but it wasn't with the Giants. Pinnock graded out of 62. McKinney didn't grade out very well at all, but that's because he was kind of hurt. He missed a lot of time. So and also, I mean, last year he didn't have any interceptions. The year before that, he had 5. He was very special last year. I'm sorry, 2021. Last year, was not his best season. Actually, if you look at Pro Football Focus, last season, his third season, it was his worst season. They graded him higher in his rookie season than they did last year. So the Giants, their safeties. I mean, Xavier McKinney. I certainly expect him to, have a good season this year. Is he going to be an all-pro or anything like that? Who knows? But I certainly expect him to do better this year, especially with his hand. Hopefully his hand is totally healed up. That would be fantastic. But the Giants are still looking to try to find who that second safety is going to be. That's another one of those interesting battles because, there's going to be always at least 2 safeties on the field at all times. And apparently last year, what I was hearing, the Giants had sometimes 4 safeties on the field at once. So basically, I mean, if you're looking at something like that, you might have McCain. Actually, McCain, I think they had him down helping out a cornerback too, in the mini camp. But it'd be interesting to see. I mean, you have Pinnock there, you got Belton, you have maybe McKinney all on the field at the same time. But when there's not that package in there, maybe on first downs, we maybe only have 2 safeties on the field because we have 2 inside linebackers, right? It might just leave us with 2 safeties. Who's going to be that second safety? Who's going to win that job? Be interesting to see. Let's see. Oh, on there. There we go. They did have, who was it? Nick McLeod was had him back there at safety as well too. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does. So I mean, between you got Pinnock, McKinney, McCain, Belton, and of course let's not forget about Javarius Owens. May not make the field that much this year, but possibly special teams. Be interesting to see. But they also had Nick McLeod, so keep an eye on Nick McLeod too. That's going to be something interesting to say. It seems like once again, just because they're doing it in mini camp or OTAs does not mean it's going to translate into the regular season. But McLeod, they had him and it's a safety position. So be interesting to see what happens there. So I got the Giants in last place as far as the safeties. So the Commanders first, Eagles second, Cowboys third, Giants fourth. So with just the special teams left to go, the Eagles have 39 points, unfortunately. Basically, it's the way it panned out last year, right? The Eagles are in first place. The Cowboys are in second place with 34 points. The Giants are in third place with 29 points, and the Commanders are in fourth place with 28 points. So we got the special teams to go, and that's it. So pretty much it's going to be the Eagles are going to be number 1 no matter what. The Cowboys are going to be number 2 no matter what. The battle will be between the Giants and the Commanders, who comes in third place and who comes in fourth place. So, but what do I know, right? The Giants got better than they did last year. That's all that counts. So, all right, guys, it's been 53 minutes. Terrence, as always, buddy, thank you. Good talking to you, pal. So whoever spends any time watching me, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, as always, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.